Today, an epic night across two countries on one of Europe's most iconic sleeper services, the EuroNight Dacia, running daily between Romania and Austria. I board at Brașov and spend the night rolling through Transylvania and Hungary, waking up in time for a hearty breakfast. It's long, in a way nostalgic, and it still somehow feels like proper travel. Come along! Hi and welcome to Brașov in Romania. It's an industrial city of roughly 240,000 people. The first trains reached Brașov in 1873, while the current station building opened in 1962. And yes, before anyone asks, we are in Transylvania, not far from Dracula's domains. But sadly, no vampires in sight this afternoon. Inside, there's this balcony overlooking the main concourse and allowing for a quiet view of the station. There are a handful of practical shops, perfect for grabbing tonight's dinner, a book-selling machine, ticket offices and machines, and very important for me right now, a restaurant where I have a basic lunch with direct view over the tracks. But the best feature is this terrace overlooking the platforms. If I lived here, I guess you know where I'd be having my morning coffee every day, right? It's cozy, slightly away from the town noise, and excellent for watching trains come and go. I can't stay all day though, as there's a train to catch, the 1746 Dacia to Vienna. Access to the platforms here is via this convenient underpass. My train isn't at the platform yet. Instead, I find this Battery-shunter prototype busy moving a rake of passenger cars. I couldn't find any solid public info about this shunter, so if you know more, please drop it in the comments below. Meanwhile, the Dacia is arriving from Bucharest with an electric Class 41 at the head, hauling a full CFR consist. The Dacia is one of Europe's truly classic overnight services. Named after the ancient region of Dacia, this train has, for decades, provided a direct night link between Romania and Central Europe, surviving border changes, political shifts, and the general decline of night trains across the continent. The Dacia runs daily between Bucharest and Vienna, crossing the Carpathians, Hungary, and into Austria overnight, offering second-class seating accommodations, couchettes and sleepers. Very much a traditional no-nonsense night train. It's popular with a mix of international travelers, railway enthusiasts, and locals using it for domestic trips as well. It's quite convenient because it allows you to go to sleep in Romania and wake up early in the morning in the heart of Vienna. And here's my sleeping car for tonight's trip, built locally by Astra Vagoane Calatori. Let's board and see how it looks inside. A vintage vibe, no? And here's my single compartment, just on time for departure at 17:46. On time! And as usual upon departure, today's trip map. As we move out of Brașov, and since it's still very early in the evening, the very friendly car attendant was kind enough to convert my compartment into day mode, revealing these 3 seats. There's a table by the window and in front, coat hangers on the wall. Near the door, there's a small vanity with light, sink and one of the two power sockets in the compartment. When we go back to night mode, I'll show you the second. There's also a complimentary amenity kit and a bottle of water, and under the sink there's a bin. The ladder to access the upper berths is always present in sleeping compartments. I'll show it in its night position later in the video. Right now the middle bed is folded down, while the upper bed is folded away. For storage, there's this space close to the ceiling. And above the door, you'll find the controls for the lights, announcements, volume and air conditioning. Let's see what the amenity kit includes. A towel, wet wipes, soap, a toothbrush and toothpaste. It's perfectly adequate for this kind of overnight journey. As for me, for now, I'll just sit back and enjoy the passing scenery, while daylight outside still allows it. Time now to show you the rest of the train, or at least what little I can access for the moment. First, something always important on night trains, without ensuite compartments: the toilets. Thankfully, they're clean and they're kept clean throughout the trip, which is really all you can ask for on an overnight service like this. At the head of the train, we still have the Romanian Railways Class 41 electric locomotive leading the way. Now let's walk a little further down the train. And please note the elegance of these corridor lights in the sleeping car. Quite charming, aren't they? It's exactly this kind of old-school atmosphere that makes classic night trains feel so special. Next door, there's a couchette car. Unfortunately, all compartments are occupied at the moment, so I can't really show you inside. Maybe later, if the opportunity comes up. And that's about all I can show for now, because the interior door to the rest of the train is closed off. Outside, the sun is setting, the day is ending, and that makes this a good time to head back to my compartment. Speeds in Romania aren't typically high, but with the train gradually picking up a little, I enjoy the frugal dinner I bought back in Brașov. Nothing fancy, but exactly what is possible on this night train. Simple, quiet, and with the scenery passing outside the window. If only we had a proper restaurant car. As the trip progresses and the stops follow one another, it's finally time for me to get some sleep. The very kind car attendant converts the compartment into night mode. I'll be using the lower berth tonight, but I've set up the ladder so you can see how it's used to access the middle bed. With the lower bed folded down, I can properly show you this small pocket next to the second power socket in the compartment, clearly intended for charging your phone overnight, along with a bedside reading lamp. Outside, night is now firmly established, and in here, it's time for the usual nighttime routine. My night ablutions, lock the door, close the blinds completely, and just like that it's time to sleep. Good night! Good morning! It's still dark outside and I'm waking up stopped in a station. Somewhere? I have absolutely no idea where we are, so let me quickly make my morning ablutions and step outside to investigate.
Good morning.
It doesn't take long to realize that we are in Ferencvaros, one of Budapest's railway stations. Normally, the Dacia would go all the way into Budapest Keleti, the city's grand terminus, but due to ongoing works there, the train now stops here instead in Ferencvaros. And this stop is not just commercial. It's actually quite interesting because this is where several Hungarian cars are added to the consist, including something very much welcome, a proper restaurant car. Let's also go to the other end of the train and see what locomotive MAV is giving us today for the run west. Since courtesy, the Romanian border station, the train has been in Hungarian hands, and today is being hauled by a Class 182, registered in Germany, owned by AKM and leased to and operated by MAV. If you're a rail enthusiast, and even if you're not, stay tuned, because these locomotives are famous worldwide for the iconic sound their traction converters make when starting up. Going back on board, I'm entering through the Romanian second-class car, just so I can show you the seating accommodation that comes all the way from Bucharest. These seats are perfectly fine for day trips or short hops. They're not bad at all, but spending an entire night in a seat, no matter how decent, is simply not the same experience as having a sleeper or, at the very least, a couchette. I don't recommend spending an entire night in a sitting accommodation, at all. We're now departing Ferencvaros, and I'm heading back to my compartment to enjoy the very first light of the new day, as we meander through Budapest on our way out of the city. Our first stop after Budapest is Tatabánya, and I'm showing it for one reason only: to let you hear that iconic traction converter sound one more time as the locomotive starts up and gains speed once again. And now it's time for breakfast, which means walking down the train to the Hungarian restaurant car. While doing it, let me tell you about one of the underrated joys of night trains. They are wonderful places to meet people from completely different walks of life. Yesterday, I ended up chatting with a friendly group who also boarded back in Brașov, and this morning I'm having breakfast with one very interesting gentleman from that group. It's one of those small moments that makes train overnight travel feel much more human than traveling by plane or alone in a car. And here we are, the restaurant car. Wouldn't it be nice if this car ran all the way from Bucharest, so passengers could have dinner, a nightcap and a place to sit and socialize properly? The menu here is actually very extensive. I'll leave a link in the description below. As for breakfast, hearty, tasty, and exactly the pick-me-up I need to start the long day ahead. After breakfast, it's time to part company and return to my compartment. And before long, I notice we're already in Austria, passing small stations and rolling countryside scenery between the Hungarian border and the Austrian capital. The freight yard on the right-hand side is a good sign. Vienna can't be far now. And at 8:20, perfectly on time, we enter Vienna Hbf, the city's main station. So, what are my impressions of this trip? Honestly, very good indeed. The train is comfortable, the ride quality allows for a genuinely good night's sleep, and the staff are everything a passenger could ask for. And, of course, arriving perfectly on time is always a pleasure, and very much in line with what you hope for on a service like this. My only quirk? I really do wish the restaurant car ran all the way from Bucharest so passengers could enjoy dinner on board, have a drink in the evening, socialize, all the good things that come with proper catering and a social space on a long-distance night train. Even a small cafe serving light meals and drinks would be better than having no on-board catering for most of the journey. Would I take this trip again? Yes, absolutely, in a heartbeat. But now, it's your turn. Would you try the EuroNight Dacia for yourself? And if you have, I'd love to hear your impressions in the comments below.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice
Thanks for riding with me all the way to the end of today's journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps Worldwide P grow and keeps these rail adventures rolling, always with a bit of history and technology along the way. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next week.